Blood. Sometimes it sets my teeth on edge. Other times it helps me control the chaos. GalaxyHighMarshal and Zippy have come together once again, the gods of blood mods in my opinion, and they have brought, with their accumulative knowledge on everything gore, into Garry's mod, into one single mod, the ultimate blood mod. Also known as the fully dynamic animated blood mod, which you're going to see why it's called that here in a second. So before we get a good look at that, be mindful that for this video in particular, I am using the 64 branch of Garry's mod to show off the unprecedented detail. But there's also a few other differences, so we're going to get this out of the way. There is a basic version where you don't need to download a bunch of stuff, because mind you, this mod's pretty big if you get the beta branch version, like multiple gigs big. But this version we have here is the most realistic version, which means there's not going to be as much crazy blood effects, which some of you might not like. You might want all the blood effects, but of course they won't be as detailed. Then, well, you have to kind of pick or choose. Obviously I went for the more realistic, and as you can see, it is incredible! I'm gonna get over the reflections here in a second. There is so much amazing things in this mod. So let's get down into it. First things first, let's talk about the most basic, the blood pools. So now, when you do kill an NPC, don't mind the goofy sound effects. Although if you want to see the video for that, I'll put it in the top right corner. Anyway, we're going to see that there is blood pooling, and we've seen this with past blood mods, but holy goddamn, man. It has never looked this good. Now, this video is probably going to get demonetized, but that's just the risks we take here on NecrosVideos. So everywhere you look, there's going to be an enhancement. I mean, for instance, right here, look at this. Even just these decals. Look how highly detailed they are compared to the low detail of Odessa's homeless man-looking jeans. The bottom line is, you get amazing decals, and you're going to notice the misting effect too. In fact, if you go ahead and just hit any ragdoll, you're going to get the exact same effect. So you get the blood misting, you get little spouts of blood shooting out. And also, before we move on, another advantage of having the chromium or the 64 branch version, or the high quality version, I'll just call it from here on out, is these blood effects tend to stay for longer. So if you're tired of them going away too quick, and you have the horsepower, then there you go. Alright, so we've seen how the blood pools. Now let's see how it reacts to surfaces like the wall here. Right there, we saw quite a lot of things happen. Let's break it down one by one. First things first, the blood on the wall. We can see it splattered all over the wall, and it's not just your basic decal. No, this mod goes even beyond. We even have large streams of blood that then pool down from gravity, of course, just to simulate that realism even further. And you're gonna notice if we were to go back, in fact, well, you know what, I'll just spawn another Odessa. So check this out. Take a look at some of the particles that are going to be around us. In fact, let's go ahead and clean all this up real quick so we get a fresh, clean slate. Check out the floor here. Look at that. Blood splattered all the way from him onto the floor. Those little drips that were shooting out, that is not just a decal or an effect. They actually do have physical properties and do interact with the map, as you can see from these little drips here. So that is pretty damn awesome. And now I'm going to try to focus on the wall here. Alright, so that was a pretty good death sound to go with that death there, but oh man, it's so cool seeing the blood pool out. Now it does do it at a lower frame rate, but that doesn't really matter. It just looks incredible, and the blood running down his face. Alright, next up, and this is something that some of you might have noticed already, is we get realistic blood projection from the type of firearm that we're using. So yeah, it's going that deep. So if we were to shoot, like from here, then the blood is going to splatter outwards, well, the way you'd think by being shot with a hand cannon, like this. And just like the description says, this helps to intensify the impact. And man, does it really. Alright, I really gotta get rid of that mod. Okay, but for instance, check this out. If we compare like this to an SMG, I mean, look how much denser the blood is on this splatter, and that's because, well, we had a freaking shotgun. But something else that's even more incredible is, check this out. You're never going to get the exact same splatter every single time. So that time we used the exact same weapon, and between these 3 splatters here, man, I feel like I'm a blood splatter analyst, but maybe that's why I did the intro. The bottom line is that you're going to get unique splats, and that is super cool. The pooling rate here is even more incredible, so now we're going to talk about it. Yes, these even have reflections, and look at that. You can see like the grooves and the differences of the blood and the elevation. Alright, I'm starting to sound like a real weirdo here, so let's move on to what it looks like on the wall here. So unfortunately, the sun is not really working with us here with the reflections. Oh wait, down here, duh. There we go. Look at that. That looks so cool and so highly detailed. I do recommend the high quality version if you guys are up for it. You are going to have eye candy for days. Alright, so we've seen that. Now we're going to clean everything up. Let's talk about explosives. And man, do I love explosives. And of course, there is a special interaction with things that go boom. Alright, so as we can see here, the splatter is pretty stark. It just kind of shoots right off. And we get the same effect here. Look at that, how far spread out it is. And then of course, where each respective body landed, we are going to get specific pooling, which again is just so cool. Even when they landed, there's even some extra splatter going on. Alright, so I want to see what this looks like in a confined space. So here we have a lot of Odessas here in the corner. Let's see what kind of devastation we can make. Alright, tons of blood all over the place in little streaks. Not the kind of coating I was expecting, but that could have just been my particular scenario. In fact, check out how high some of this blood went. That's pretty incredible. Alright, now we're going to talk about some of the decals, which we did touch on a bit, but I want to see what they look like on the actual body itself. Alright, so like I said, you're going to get some pretty nasty looking wounds and particle effects. I mean, look at this. Look how good that looks. Normally it's just a blotchy mess, but the fact that this looks so good on something as ugly as Odessa is pretty damn impressive in my opinion. Now of course these look really high quality, but what about something like, I don't know, a 357? Look at that. That is awesome. So we get the blood pooling out from each wound, and because this is much higher impact, we get the response that you'd expect. The way the blood kind of maneuvers around the model, this is like blowing my mind. Zippy and Marshall, I don't know how the hell you guys did it. This is just, these are the mods that get me excited to wake up and record, even though I record at night. Just to kind of see the impact that these mods can have. I mean, look at this! Odessa, you have a hole in your chest! Honestly though, it doesn't bother him because he's heartless regardless. Alright, so now we're gonna go back into the environment. What if we had Odessa? Alright. What if we killed him? Now what if we were to coat the ceiling with his blood? That's right, there's even blood dripping from ceilings. And not only ceilings, but even walls. So everything that this ragdoll, or corpse, I guess more accurately, is going to interact with, it's going to leave blood, and it's going to leave a lasting effect. This is just, it looks so cool when you guys actually try it in game. So please, I applaud you to download this, whether it's the regular version or the high quality version. It is just, I'm even just throwing Odessa's lifeless body around, which is normally fun for me anyway, is even more enjoyable now that we get these added effects. Okay, I think this dude's completely drained. And of course, last but not least, which I'm not going to showcase in today's video, just to try to have some kind of semblance of hoping that I can keep monetization on, and that is, this works with gore mods. So if you guys have a crazy gib mod that like causes things to explode, you are going to enjoy that with these added blood effects, and I promise you it's going to be amazing. So I might have to try that sometime, because that really does sound pretty exciting to me. Now for some reason we're not getting any blood effects anymore. Oh, there we go. I guess he just had to hit the ceiling hard enough. Also, the sound is just on point. It's slushy, it's goopy, it's nasty. Good work, guys. And I guess that's pretty much it. So guys, I would love to know what you all think about this gore mod. Is it next level? I mean, I think we can all definitely agree that it absolutely is. It just looks so good, no matter what NPC or what weapon you use. But as always, links will be in the description as always. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this until the end. And until next time, farewell.